Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warplanes. This time we'll be taking a look at the Tier 4 Soviet multirole, the I-17L. L for late mod. So, let's first take a look at the history of this plane, and then we'll jump into the details of the statistics, and then we'll jump into some gameplay. So, first off, this plane was a it's very short. Modification of the I-16 featuring more powerful weapons and improved performance. Well, I kind of assumed that. It was late mod, but sure, okay. It was improved I-16. I could not have figured that out myself. Thank you, Wargaming. I appreciate it. But anyway, that's what we have in this game. So, let's check out what Wargaming says about the statistics, and then we'll jump into gameplay. So, first off, machine gun and autocannon armament effective in close combat. Just like the I-16E, this plane has very short range weapons. And yeah, let's first check out what guns we have. We're sitting at two 20s and two 7.62s. One thing to note, these 20s overheat ridiculously quickly. If they were going to tune this plane at all, they really do need to slow down the overheating on these guns. These guns are not powerful enough to warrant them overheating that fast. So slow the cannon overheating down by like at least 50%. Like, it is that bad. It is very bad. You'll see it during the replay. The 7.62s, they're exactly what you expect, right? But these 20s overheat stupidly fast. But as such, it really requires you to get very, very close to your target before you unload. Your 20s can essentially reach almost 2,000 feet. I don't ever see you really hitting that far. If they're on low health, you might kill them with your 20s, but because they overheat so fast, it's very unlikely. But this plane shines when you're firing all your guns at 1,000 feet or less. 1,000 is kind of the cap, but really if you get anywhere closer than 1,000, you're just golden. You're going to be doing a lot of damage. Those 20s are essentially more than 50% of your firepower. Sure, it's half the gun armament, but these guns do a lot more damage than your 7.62s, and you need to make sure your 20s are firing as well. As you can see, the damage per second is more than double than this, so just a single 20 is better than this in terms of damage per second. They don't fire as fast, right? They only have 360 rounds per minute rather than 1,500 rounds per minute. But they are the bulk of your firepower. You're going to be killing planes quickly with these guns. These ones are going to take forever. They're going to kind of tickle the enemy for a long time. So I do recommend making sure that you have shots lined up well before you unload. Make sure you're close to your target, and shooting down GA is kind of a nightmare in this plane, so I don't highly recommend it. And also, you need to make sure that your 20s stay cooled down. So if they overheat, it's worth it to let them cool off before you keep firing. So I know I just did a review on the I-17 where this plane actually had 4 of the 7.62s and 120. And in that case, most of your firepower was your 7.62s, and so holding down the trigger even though your 20 was overheated made sense. In this plane, the most bulk of your firepower is the 20s, and so you need to make sure that those are cooled down rather than just holding down the trigger, unless the target's almost dead. But even then, it probably would be worth it to let your guns cool down before you fire. That was kind of long-winded. Let's go to the next point. Low survivability. You are a multi-role. but there's other statistics about this plane that makes it have low survivability compared to other multi-roles, and so we will be getting back to that later. But yes, this does have very low survivability compared to other multi-roles at tier 4. Good airspeed and boost. No, it does not. This is not a bonus. You are slow. You are very slow. Slow as in 0 slow. The A6M1 slow. And your boost is 6 seconds. So if you hold down the boost, yeah, you'll boost up into a little fast, decent speed, but as soon as your boost runs out, you'll slow right back down. So this plane is not fast. That is bad. It is not fast. It does not have good boost. It's very short. Good maneuverability and in rolls and turns. That is an understatement. It is exceptional at maneuvering in rolls and turns. How exceptional is exceptional? Well, rate of roll, 190 degrees per second rate of roll. Yes, that is exceptional. I don't really know if there's any plane in the game that's faster rate of roll than that. It's ridiculous. And average time to turn 360 degrees, 9 seconds, not too bad. Not too bad. It is very maneuverable, which is amazing. Very comparable to the Japanese Zero. Effective in low altitude combat and in destroying small amounts of ground targets. No. Yes to low altitude. It has a very, very low altitude performance. Do not play this plane in medium to high altitude combat. You will lose out on the strengths of the plane, which is the maneuverability. And so you really do not want to stay very high. But as for destroying small amounts of ground targets, sure, you have 6 rockets, but you really want to not be shooting down ground targets unless you absolutely have to. Have to as in taking a rocket factory or the command centers, because shooting down the air defense planes will not give it to you. You do need to destroy some ground targets. So these rockets, you want to make sure you're shooting at lightly armored targets. They don't do very well against armored ones, just because they don't have enough damage per shot. You have 6 rockets at 450 damage per rocket, and it's just not going to cut it. But what this plane does do well at is shooting down other air targets with this. A little trick when you're trying to shoot at or get rocket kills in this plane is to use your roll rate while firing them. So, press either the D or the A keys while you're about to fire, and then fire your rockets. And when you're spinning in a circle, it increases your chances of hitting a plane with your rockets, at least according to Wargaming. And then also, if you really want to go down the Rocketeer route, when we get to the pilot skills, you could do Rocketeer to increase your chances. But yeah, take it as you will. And then carry small rockets. Yeah, you do not want to be shooting down ground targets with your guns. You will be a burden to your team if you focus on shooting down ground targets. But with that is about everything that Wargaming has said. There's not really a whole lot I want to add to that. It about covered everything. If you're going to try to research these modules, which order should you do them in? Well, these ones I'm pretty sure are the same ones as the I-16E. So if you research them on the I-16E, you should have them already. In fact, they're the same rockets you get on the I-5, which is the Tier 1 plane. So you really should have these. I did not realize the I-5 had these rockets, but to put that in perspective, it kind of shows you how weak they are at tier 4. You know, if they're able to be put on a tier 1 plane, by the time you get to tier 6 or tier 4, sorry, it's just not going to have the same effect, I guess. So I would do the guns first. You should already have these researched. So do guns, then engine. Yeah, that one's only available on the I-16L, so you're going to have to research that one. And then, of course, this plane leads to the Yak-9, or sorry, the Yak-7 and the Lag-3. So yeah, and if you wanted to, you could use this plane to go down into the Yak-15 as well. So you could do these 3 lines right here. The only one you really can't access is this line and the attack aircraft line, but it's okay. As for service, well, I have universal ammo because I have the credits for it. I have rockets and no fire extinguisher because I don't do fire extinguishers, but you know, set it up the way you want to. I've already made my point about that a long time ago on every video. You know, set it up the way you want. These are just recommendations or my setups, and so you know, do what works for you rather than what works for me. Equipment modules, same story. You do the improved reflector sight, which gives 10% to firing accuracy, which is very useful. And then lightweight airframe and control surface adjustment 2, which increases your maneuverability, which is this plane's strength. I think I mentioned it on the I-16E review, but back in the day, this plane was used in competitions that Wargaming had for the craziest maneuvers, and like where you could go underneath little teeny tiny bridges and do weird flips and loops and all these weird things. This was the choice plane for that. This one and the I-16E, because they're so small and they have excellent maneuverability. The roll rate's crazy, small target, and yeah, it works very well. It is the definition of maneuverable. And that's the roll rate is something that it has far superior than the Japanese Zero, but I feel like the Japanese Zero has better guns. So it's kind of like that trade-off, right? But anyway, jump to the paint shop. You cannot put any gift camo on because, well, it doesn't have any. You have this weird one. I guess it's like a race plane. Okay. I guess that kind of represents the race nature of this plane back in the day, or like the, not necessarily race, but like aerobatics expert that it was. So, and that also means you can't mount any beta stickers on there, unfortunately. And you know how much that drives me crazy, but it's not possible. As for crew, my crew's in a different plane, so let's go check that out real quick. But it's a pretty generic setup for most of it, so you guys should be pretty familiar with it. If we jump into it, I'm doing Marksman 1 and 2. That's what I would do. Alternatively, you could do the Rocketeer upgrade, or if you really wanted to be competitive, you could go down this maneuverability side. But that would be the 5 skills that I suggest. Marksman 1, Marksman 2, Rocketeer, or Expert Rocketeer, Aerobatics Expert, and Aerodynamics Expert. I know I'd had that reversed, but, you know, do those 2 and it should be good. This one improves the effects of your maneuvering upgrades, and this one just gives you a flat-up bonus to maneuverability. So, because it's so dependent on, or its massive advantage is its maneuverability, you might want to do this first, the maneuverability skills, but I always do Marksman 1 and 2, and you know, that's just a whole another thing about, you know, preferences, and what works for me may not work for you. So I'm just showing you what I choose. I'll let you choose what you want to choose and what works for works best for you. But enough said. Let's jump into a monster battle, if I do say so myself. Alright, and welcome back everyone to the gameplay section. So this time we're actually in a tier 5 battle this time. So I am not going to be seal clubbing little teeny tiny tier 3s, and I'm not going to be seal clubbing those lower tiers. I am in a tier 5 battle. So that is exciting. Granted, they have a human tier 5 bomber, which could pose to be a threat. Hint, hint later on in this battle. But this is a 5 setup point. You're never going to be able to do anything at the factory, so I don't suggest it. You have worthless airspeed, worthless boost, and so that's why I suggest going to the center first. As you can see, I've demonstrated the 20s overheating very quickly, and the roll rate, because I am bored while I'm flying, because I hate slow planes, and this is a slow plane. So, but with slow planes, you really do want to make sure that you focus on staying in the center objective, and just defending it the whole time. That's where you will perform the best in this plane, in my opinion. Don't worry about jumping from sector to sector. You are not really going to be doing your team a whole lot of good if you jump from sector to sector in this plane. You really do excel at holding very specific sectors. So we have an HE-112. He will be a very quick target. Note how quickly the 20s overheat, but we do shut him down. And another issue, it takes way too long for the 20s to cool down, in my opinion. If they were going to overheat super quickly, they should readjust how quickly the 20 cools down. Yeah, I'm going to bring a point up later in a later video, but this is probably one of the best games of wargamings where the Soviet vehicles just do not perform as overpoweredly as they do in other wargaming titles, and it makes me very happy. But they almost perform so poorly in this game, at least some of them, that I would suggest they need a serious buff. And that's just, for me to suggest a Soviet vehicle in wargaming's titles to need a buff, it's very different, I gotta admit. So my 20s were overheated, but I want to try to get the kill. Everyone was shooting at him. So yeah, I got the kill. I-16L coming in, he died very quickly. Lag 3-4, you really do not want me going head-on with that, but I go head-on with him regardless. Don't hit him with my rockets, unfortunately, and so that means Carter stole the kill. Thank you very much, Carter. No, it's just kill securing, I know. Now it's kill steal. I'm crazy like that. But yes, the Bristol 146. And, maybe the Soviet planes get better later on in the tech tree. There's certain planes that I've found to be decent, but I haven't found any Soviet plane that I feel is just awesome. Like, I haven't found any Soviet plane that I would keep because I enjoyed it so much. So, anyway, that was kind of a little bit of a tangent. This is kind of just mundane shooting targets right now, though. They just keep coming in and keep feeding us stuff. But I kind of like these setups in these situations where one team gets 2 sectors, the other team gets 1 sector, and it goes back and forth between who has control of that last sector. And then the other 2 sectors just nobody ever gets, and those are the fun battles, because especially when they're factories, if nobody ever gets the factories, those are the balancing features of giving so you don't have too many, it doesn't take too long to rack up points that you need in order to win. But Because no team is taking the factory, it allows this game to go on very long, and it's going to allow us to get a very nice score. So, Bristol 146, he's not directly going head-on with me. I could tell that, and so it was not in my best interest to fire rockets. Most likely it would not have hit. You really do need to make sure that the target is 100% committed to ramming you and going head-on with you in order for you to get rocket kills. Otherwise, it's too much risk. It's too risky. We got a heavy fighter zipping through. I don't think I'm going to be able to kill him, but if he comes back around, I will be able to kill him because I put a little bit of damage on him. HE-112 is coming in again, so he dies very quickly. We got a lag 3-4 coming in again, so we're going to shoot him down again. My 20s are overheated, but it takes so long for the 20s to cool down, so it puts you in this really weird situation, right? Because most of your firepower is the 20s, but they overheat super fast, and they don't cool down super fast, so it's either just hold down the trigger and hope your 7.62s kill it, or spend an eternity waiting for your 20s to cool down. And that's not good for this plane. Ooh, got a rocket kill. Woohoo, that's exciting. If I had rockets again, I'd probably get another rocket kill, but regardless, we'll kill him. I'm at 1 hit point, so better not die. And he rammed me. Yes. I really should have dodged that one, but I thought he was going to pull away a little bit earlier. It looked like he didn't want to ram, so oh well, we rammed him anyway. So Carter's already picked up a respectable 11,000 personal points, but I have picked up 19,000 personal points, and look how much longer the battle it still has left to go. Squall Line has not even arrived yet, so we could get a very nice score here if all things work out very well. Again, I really don't care about dying. Maybe I should, but at this point I'm fully committed to trying to get a wicked, unbelievable, ridiculous score. And so kind of going and playing this a little bit badly, but we kill him. We broke 20k, and there's still a lot of time left on the clock. Squall Line has just appeared, and this Bristol 146, sorry, is going to die right now, just like that. It's at this point that I kind of want our team to die, honestly. I know that sounds bad, but if they die, I can pick up a little bit more kills. Those planes are very low health, so they should be actually pretty easy to kill. HE-112 is flying away from me, so I can't really catch him, but I spot this P-43 coming in at me, so we're going to put some rounds into him. I doubt he's more maneuverable than me, so we're going to flip around and shut him down. Except for the fact that he's too fast for this plane to catch up. So he's most likely going to escape. I really do need to ignore him for the time being and going after someone else. But he's dead. I got a 110B coming up on me, so I kill him as well. 24,000 personal points, and it's still quite a few targets left on the board. So I-16L and KI-43. Let's take out the I-16L first because he's maneuverable. I mean, the other guy is maneuverable too, but we shut him down. KI-43 won. Let's take him out as well. Try to get rocket kill, but for some reason that did not kill him. I kind of aimed that poorly. I did not do the flip, but it just kind of shows that these rockets are not great at killing stuff. And I'm at 1 hit point again. I think someone rammed me. Oy, that was close. That was way too close for comfort. But we get a little bit of health back. Let's take down this Bristol 146. My 20s are already overheated. It's just stupid. It's so bad. But we're going to try to use our 7.6 or 6.2s to take him out, which we do. And I have a crazy score right now, so I feel kind of bad, but I kind of don't. I asked Carter at this point, hey, can I try to break 30k here? I think it's possible. but I need you to not shoot down the plane so much. And he's like, do I have to? I'm having a good game too. And I'm just like, please, I'm having a better game. But then I saw that bomber way up there, and I said, Carter, I can't deal with that bomber way up there. You can deal with him, but I want to get the lower one. So he's like, fine, if I have to. Which, honestly, I'd be the same way. But, I get a couple shots onto him, but I'm probably going to stall here, which I do. And this is kind of showing you the terrible altitude performance and engine. You really have to struggle to shoot down bombers. If I'd focused on him earlier in the game, I'd be wasting just way too much time. I mean, he's going way faster than I am. But I do kill him, and there's still 2 planes left. So Carter's going after that bomber that I just simply can't get. He's too high up. But I want to take down this heavy fighter. I feel like I can take down the heavy fighter, and if I do, then I might be able to break 30k. So here I go after this heavy fighter. But unfortunately, he's getting shot like crazy because he's a stupid bot, and air defense planes are killing him. He did not die, he just disappeared off radar. There he is. He's coming. He's going head on. He's going head on. Now's my chance. And I duck and dive. Probably the right thing to do, as he was doing a lot of damage to me. But unfortunately, he crashes into the ground before I can get around. And bots. Why? That bot right there just denied me 30k. He denied me 30k. I have a personal vengeance for you, Hubert. Or Hugbert. Hugbert's even worse. That guy sucks. I don't like him. This was the highest scoring game I have ever had in World of Warplanes, and it will probably remain the highest scoring game I've ever had in World of Warplanes for the foreseeable future. So now I'm just kind of bragging to the enemy team because, you know, there's 11 seconds left on the clock, and I was kind of freaking out because I thought we were going to lose this, just because I thought you had to reach max points in order to win, but you do not. If the time runs out, it is whoever has the most points will win. So thankfully that allows me to get an absolute crap ton of medals. There's so many there. I'm just going to go to the hangar, and then we'll look them over in the hangar. Just an absolute crap ton of medals, and just about 30k. If I had killed that 110B, it would have given me an extra 200 personal points, plus a little bit more for damaging the target, and I would have broken 20 or 30k. So not very happy with Hubert. Hugbert. I think that's what his name was, Hugbert. So, oh well. Let's get back to the hangar and check it out. It takes forever to load. There we go. Oh, it's off the screen. It's off the screen. I can't even see it all. It's literally off the screen. That's pretty funny. I don't think that's going to happen too many times more than that. I mean, that's pretty epic, honestly. So, well, anyway, we got a couple missions complete. We did almost 4,000 damage to aerial targets, which isn't that impressive. Especially if you're able to shoot down a lot of GAs and bombers, you'll probably break that pretty easily. But we did get 26 kills, and that's a stat that is impressive to me. We got an absolute crap ton of medals. You can look at the medals if you want. I'm not going to read them all. There's just too many. But we got 3 platoon/flight awards, and basically all the medals you can possibly get. So, now, do I recommend this plane? Well, it's definitely a fun plane. But I don't think it's a great plane. I really don't. the fact that those 20s overheat so fast and they take forever to cool down, it's a good plane, but I don't think it's a great plane. And even though I got 30,000 personal points, I still don't think it's a great game. I think it's just an okay, or yeah, even though I got a great game, I don't think this is an awesome plane. It definitely does things right, but I prefer my Hurricane Mark 1. So, anyway, I hope that gave you guys a little taste of what the potential of this plane is. It is very substantial. And with that being said, please leave comments down below, and I will catch you next time.